Hey, how's it going? It's Martin. So today I want to talk a little bit about how to take a better photo of yourself with your iPhone. I find that the easiest way to take a good photo of myself is a mixture of three primary things. One is background, the second is lighting, and the third is expression. In general, I mean, if you're a girl, makeup is also somewhat important if you're doing it as like a headshot. Those are kind of the three things that we ask our clients whenever we shoot, if they're happy with. Like, are you happy with the background? Are you happy with the way that the lighting is falling across your face? And are you happy with the makeup? Then after that, obviously, we focus on, are you happy with the expression? So I think it's really important, though, if you're not worrying about makeup, to think about those three main things: background, lighting, expression. If you're going to take a photo of yourself, the first question is, what are you using the photo for? If you're just using it for fun and to post on social media, the background usually doesn't matter as much as if you're going to use it for a professional purpose like LinkedIn. So we're going to talk about background first, and then we'll move on to the other two. How do you determine what type of background to use for your photo? Well, again, one, in general, just a general rule, you don't want to have anything too distracting in the background. But as I mentioned, it's not going to matter as much if the photo is just like for Facebook or something. But if you can, try to come up with some sort of background that's either supportive to what the message is or the story of the photo, or is basically going to be helpful for what you're using the photo for. So what I mean by this is, let's say that we're on a vacation, right? And I want to post a photo on Facebook of myself on vacation, right? If I'm, let's say, at a beach, I want to obviously take the photo of myself with the beach in the background, and with less distracting elements. So make sure when you're taking this selfie that there's not also like a pile of trash or a trash can behind you, right? Look first at the background in the photo. So you're holding your phone up, you're looking, you're turning, you're like, okay, cool, this background looks good. Then immediately look for those little distracting elements. Just make sure, like, oh, there's no random person laying on the sand behind me that is distracting, right? So you set up the background first. If you're doing the photo for more of a professional purpose, just figure out a way to get a background that's supportive of the industry that you do, if you can, and make sure that the background is not distracting still, okay? So industries, if you're in a more formal industry, think of a more formal backdrop, like something a little bit darker and like flat, so like a dark colored wall or a curtain or some sort of, I don't know, honestly, like just anything. Like if you're outside, just try to go to a place where there's like some sort of flat wall behind you so it's not distracting. If you're in like technology or healthcare, you can do a lighter background, like a white or like a light gray type of background. If you're in a more creative field, then you can potentially do a background like with a park behind you or some greenery or a brick wall or something, But just something that, as long as you're looking at it, you're not seeing distracting elements in the background. Now, of course, the next thing, the lighting, does play a large role in how you're going to pick your background. Because let's say that you find the perfect background, but the lighting is terrible. Now what do? In general, most iPhones are good with what I would call brightness, but they're not good with lighting. Like, they're not going to help you get good lighting in your photo. So what's the difference between brightness and lighting? Well, brightness is just how bright the image is in the screen. Your phone is going to make you show up as a little bit brighter. So essentially, like, let's say you're in a dark environment and your phone has a, it's got its own like sensitivity to pixels, right? And you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I can actually see myself pretty brightly lit on the screen. But you're in an area where most of the lights are off. That's because the phone will up the brightness of the image to make you look properly exposed, is the photographer term. Now, that doesn't mean that the lighting is good. You could be in a really, really brightly lit area, like direct sunlight, for example, and the lighting is bad, because lighting is different than brightness. Lighting, on the other hand, is what type of light is hitting your face and where the light is coming from. So let's say that I'm standing on a ground, I'm in a dark bar, let's say, and they have a cool lighting thing where the floor is all lit up. Let's say we're in like Saturday Night Fever, the movie from the 70s with John Travolta, and you're on the floor there and the floor is all lit up and people are dancing, right? That light is coming from the floor, so it's going to cast unnatural shadows upward on the face. That's like old-fashioned lighting that they would use in horror movies to make the monsters more scary, have this like crazy weird lighting coming from below. That's bad lighting. If you're outside and it's an overcast day, what's going to happen is the light is coming just from general above, and it's going to create these dark shadows under the eyes, and it just kind of makes everything look like sunken and dull. So if that's the case and you need better lighting, what you want to do is try to position yourself where the ground is a good background for you, okay? And then you can just tilt your camera up and take it from a slightly higher angle. This way the light from the sky is filling in your face. That's one trick. Another way that you can do it is if you stand underneath something. So let's say that you find a wall that looks good and it's somewhat underneath like either scaffolding if you're in the city, or a building, or like let's say you're in your garage and you open up the garage door and you're standing there, all the light is coming from in front. If you're inside, you can take it in front of a window. So you don't want the window behind you, you want the window on this side. This way when you're holding your phone and pointing it towards you, the window is casting all the light in your face, okay? Those are some general tips to get good lighting. Now, if it's a sunny day and you're outside, you can actually position yourself where the light from the sun is, go to a place where you see the light from the sun hitting like the side of a building or the side of a white van or something that's really bright. So what it's doing is it's hitting this and it's creating a big white box, or soft box as a photography term. It's creating this soft lighting source, and then you stand with the soft lighting source in front of you. You hold your phone pointing towards you and you take your picture, and what happens is all the light from that source is lighting in your face, and that looks a lot better. So those are some general tips to get good lighting, and that will definitely help your photo look more professional. The reason that we want good lighting is primarily because it's going to light up the eyes, which is going to make them sparkle and make people feel like they can connect to you more. This applies regardless of whether you're doing a professional headshot for your like LinkedIn page or you're doing a photo for just like your social media page. If you can set yourself up so that you don't have these dark shadows under your eyes, it's just going to look way better and way more professional and engaging. People, when they can see that little reflection in your eye, like the sparkle, that gives life to your eye. It's called a catch light in photography terms. So we've talked about lighting, we've talked about background. The last thing to talk about is expression. Now, I did a video on how to get a good smile, but just as a very, very quick recap, we'll link to the video below in the description on how to get a good smile, just so you can see that. But as a general point, laugh and then hold the smile that comes right after the laugh. So that basically means, you know, if I'm here and I laugh, that is too big, okay? But if I laugh and I go, that smile that comes right after, that will look more natural on camera, okay? If you want to learn more about closed mouth smiles and how to get into more detail to make your smile look more relaxed and more genuine and more approachable and real, definitely check out the other video. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And definitely subscribe. I have plenty more videos coming your way. And as always, live with purpose.